Ready.
Okay, welcome. We are here as part of the Kern Veterans Oral History Project. I'm Catherine Drury from Ridgeview High School, and we have with us today Maurice Landry.
That is correct.
And today is October 4th, 2012 at the American Sound Studios in Bakersfield, California. Okay, do you mind sharing your birth date with us?
9/7/20.
1920. You just had a birthday not too long ago.
That's September 7th.
How wonderful that you're still with us to share your stories.
I'm 92 years of age. I'm still kicking.
Yeah, you are. And you've seen a lot.
Oh, yes. Still seeing a lot.
So, what branch of service did you serve in?
Army Air Corps.
Army Air Corps. That's
Army Air Corps was a branch of the Signal Corps, and it became the Army Air Force later on during the war.
I was going to say, my nephew serves in the Air Force, but it wasn't called the Air Force back then, right?
That's right. The beginning of the war, it was called the Air Corps because it was a division of the Army, but it was under the jurisdiction of the Signal Corps.
Okay. Now, what was your job?
I was a radio operator mechanic.
Radio operator and worked on radios?
Mechanic. That's correct.
Okay. Okay.
I was in a fighter control squadron, and our job was to control fighter plans. We would take an operations block, would give us a code, we'd follow the code, contact the plane, and then he would be directed to his mission.
So were you on the ground?
I was on the ground.
At like a base?
I was in we were in a roving trucks. We had trucks. We had each one of our units had 9 trucks to our unit.
Uh-huh.
So in other words, it's called 3 stations. We had 3 stations, which was 9 trucks.
Uh-huh.
The one was a radio truck, one was a receiver truck, and one was a communication truck. So all 3 of those units worked together.
Uh-huh.
And of course, we would put radio back into operation, and they would do the talking to the pilot and what have you.
Wow. So where at?
Beg pardon?
Where were you at?
Well, the whole time I was in Europe. I was in Germany.
Germany?
Yeah. Started off in England, ended up in Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, Holland. We covered the whole spectrum. As the troops moved forward, we moved.
Oh, okay. Ahead or behind?
Behind the troops.
Yes.
Yeah, quite a bit behind, but we were just controlling fighter plans.
Uh-huh. Wow. I've not talked to anybody that's had that job yet.
Different ball game.
It is, isn't it? You're controlling a lot of things, aren't you?
That is correct. Well, so we use what they call a control net system, and of course, documentation of that. After graduating from radio school in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, I was sent to Florida, and I was in Florida for 3 weeks, studying advanced control net systems.
Uh-huh.
And then from there, I went to an outfit, and then I went overseas.
Now, where are you from originally? Because you said you went to South Dakota, but you're not from South Dakota.
No, I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Originally from there.
That's right.
Did you join voluntarily, or were you drafted in?
I'm drafted.
Yeah.
It's something, at that time, nobody wanted to be drafted, but we had to protect our country, so that was it, And of course, many of my friends volunteered.
Uh-huh.
Some of them didn't come back, but that's not here or there.
So what year would that put you into the service? What year were you drafted?
1942.
Right after Pearl Harbor, then.
Yeah, 42 and got out in 45. October 42, I was drafted. I got out in November 45.
Okay.
So 3 years, 1 month, and 13 days, I think.
Not that you were counting or anything.
Well, my discharge says that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have remembered that.
So you were in Europe, and from what I've read and what I teach my students is that in that area around Holland and Luxembourg, the people there, they liked the Americans when they came through, yeah?
Open arms.
Yeah?
Yeah, they used to give us chickens and things of that nature. Of course, our cooks would take the chickens and cook them and things of that nature.
But that was a big gift because they had been under occupation. They didn't have a lot of stuff.
Very much so. Yeah. And we were stationed, can't think of the name of the place, Maastricht. I was in Maastricht, Holland.
Uh-huh.
And of course, living in tents, we were able to take a shower. They had an open air shower. We used to take a shower.
Uh-huh.
But that was because living in a tent would beat living in a tent, you know.
Right.
And we said that GI bath, which is using a helmet full of water. This was considered a GI bath. But, but we offered the facility, so we used it. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. And so, were you? Did you spend your whole service in that job, that capacity?
Oh, yeah.
Did they not?
Yeah. Well, I was a glorified schoolboy for the first part of my service. I mean, because
Learning.
I attended school, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Tomo, Wisconsin, Orlando, Florida, and then I went overseas. And when I went overseas, I went to Liverpool, England, and I was in school in Liverpool, England for several weeks. Wow. So I was I consider myself a glorified schoolboy.
But did you get a lot of education?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, but it was a different field because I was a woodworker by profession prior to going into the service.
Oh, really?
And I'm still a woodworker.
That's what you did for a living?
That's right. But let me rephrase that.
Okay.
That was my main spec. But I worked for the U.S. Navy Department. I started off as a carpenter. I did 29 years with the Navy Department. Started off as a carpenter, retired as maintenance control director. So I went up the ladder. And speaking in reference to working with wood, right now I'm doing a project. Let me relate the whole story.
Okay.
I lost my wife 3 years ago. She was also Army Nurse Corps.
Really?
But anyhow, 3 years ago she passed away, and of course I lived by myself until 6 months ago. 6 months ago, the kids kept on. I have 4 daughters. Kept on sell the house, and one of my daughters said, "Come live with us." Biggest mistake I ever made. And my wife always did say, "Never live with your children." I mean, nothing, no arguments or anything else, but you're living something different. I mean, because you talk about a child and a spouse, then you might have a little conflict there and what have you.
Right.
So anyhow, my daughter lives in Paso Robles, California.
My sister lives there.
Well, she has 17 acres in Paso Robles.
Oh, beautiful.
And so anyway, I went to live with her. This is my youngest daughter. And I went to live with her, but after getting there, I mean, nothing to do. She has animals galore. You have 2 dogs run the house. You have all kind of animals, geese, ducks, chicken, goats, sheep. At one time, she was raising prize sheep, and she got tired of the prize sheep. She had 50 of them. She sent them back to Missouri. She has a contact in Missouri who also raises sheep. So they set the sheep all back there. But anyhow, getting back to my part of it. I mean, living there, not having anything to do. I, being Catholic, church 15 miles from the house. If I had to go to church, drive to church and back.
Right.
So that's a round trip of 30 miles plus whatever. Right. If you went someplace else, like have breakfast or something, you're talking about at least 35, 40 miles. The price of gasoline and everything else, you know. I said, well, this is not for me. And of course, having lived in Bakersfield for 22 years, I'm very much into St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church.
Wonderful church.
And that's where I'm living at right now.
You are?
Yes.
And so what is your project that you're working on?
Remodeling the apartment I'm living in. Putting in new cabinets.
Oh.
Yeah. But
wow.
Monsignor Craig and I are very good friends.
He's a wonderful man. This community loves him.
Yeah, but he's been here 13 years. And, from day one, I mean, we clicked right off the bill.
That's
and
wonderful.
I've accomplished a lot of work around church. So anyhow, after going to Paso Robles, and I came back here on a visit, and I talked to Father Craig. I said, I don't like it. So he said, you're welcome back here.
Oh.
And he said, if you want to live in one of the units we have here, you're welcome. So he said, go take a look at it. I took a look at it, I came back, I said, sold. So,
now, what brought you to Kern County in the first place after the war? How did you end up here for 22 years?
My youngest daughter, her in-laws are from this area.
Oh, okay.
He was an engineer with Mobile Oil Company. And we were looking for property at the time. We were living up in Santa Rosa. And he said, come to Bakersfield. Property is less expensive in Bakersfield because I lived, prior to going up north, I lived in Itasca. I lived in Los Angeles. I lived in Atascadero. I lived in Santa Maria. And then from Santa Maria, I went to Santa Rosa. And while in Santa Rosa, by the time I arrived in Santa Rosa, the price of property elevated. So anyhow, he said, come to Bakersfield, property's less expensive. So I came to Bakersfield and had a house built in Bakersfield. And I lived in that house for 22 years. I live right on Olive Drive.
Oh,
Yeah.
I live near there.
Yeah, I live between, right off Oena. I mean, half a block off Oena,
Oh, okay.
between Oena and Patton.
Uh-huh.
And very nice house. The house was quite large, 2,200 square feet. And of course, after my wife died, that's it. I just took care of it by myself. And
So when you said you worked for the Department of the Navy, was that here?
no, that was in Seal Beach, California.
Oh.
Long Beach. I worked in 3 different places.
Okay.
I worked in Naval Air Station, New Orleans, Louisiana, Naval Station, Long Beach, California, Naval Weapons Station, Seal Beach, California.
Which did you like the best?
Well, they all they were civil service,
Oh, okay.
so what have you, you know. And of course, one thing wrong with the government, workforce, everybody wants to get paid, nobody wants to do anything. And that's the problem with our economy right now.
Oh.
I mean, people come to work, they know they're going to get a paycheck, they don't care, they don't fulfill their duties and what have you.
Clock in and clock out.
And this really irritated me to no end. So when I had a chance to retire, I was 55 years old when I first retired. And I retired, I'm happy, here I am.
But you went back to work.
Oh,
You were still working.
Woodworking being my profession, I went back to interior to finish, the cabinetry and what have you. And this is what I've been involved in.
Oh, okay.
And
So a lot different than what you did in your service in
oh
the
yes,
Army.
yes. Well, I was a carpenter before I went into the service, so I just fell back into the carpentry. Although
Then you started working at a young age.
I was 12 years old when I started working. I was still in school when I was working for my dad.
Really? Yeah. Did he teach you? Is he the one that taught you how to work with wood?
Beg pardon?
Is your dad the one that taught you how to work with wood?
Oh yes.
Yeah?
Oh yes. My whole family was involved in woodworking.
Oh.
And of course, my dad and a couple uncles, they went down to the side by British Honduras. They worked down there for a number of years.
Oh, really?
In heavy duty construction. Oh yeah. But I was only a child then. That's life.
Wow. Now, going back to Europe, did you like your time in Europe?
Oh yes, very enjoyable.
Yeah?
Since retired, since getting out of service, I've been back over there twice.
Oh, have you?
Yes, my wife and I took 2 trips back there.
And have you seen the places that you were there during the service, or did you go different places?
Different places, really,
Yeah.
because actually we were involved in tours, and we went where with tours. But the places where I served, I actually didn't get back to those at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never been to Europe myself, so I've only seen it in pictures.
Oh yeah, well,
Um,
but Europe's a beautiful place.
Yes.
And of course, I have many friends who have also traveled. So I can relate stories about this and that and what
Right.
have you. But we have a couple down in Laguna Niguel who have been friends of ours for 40-some years. And the two trips we took back there, they were with us, the 4 of us. But we've did a lot of traveling in addition to that. I've been down to Mexico, down into Mexico,
Yeah.
been up to Canada, been to Hawaii,
Yeah.
but Costa Rica, places like that. But this is where I spent my time.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to the military service. I feel like I'm learning a lot about you, but I'm forgetting about the war. Did you join with friends? Did you have friends that joined during the same time you did, or were drafted when you were drafted? No?
No, I was solo.
Did you make friends in your unit when you were over there?
Yes, definitely so.
Yeah.
Because first of all, you're thrown in a barracks with a bunch of guys you don't know anything about or what have you, and you go from there. That's all.
Yeah.
It's a different world. You know?
And so a lot of different kinds of people, huh?
Oh yeah, different people from all walks of life, and different attitudes and etc. But you get in a little fight here and there, you know. I don't like this, I don't like that, you know. But it's okay.
Did you keep any friendships after?
Not really.
No?
No, because when I when I came out of service, my outfit I was with was a different outfit because I was what they call a transfer outfit. I transferred from one outfit to the other for a transfer home.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
the people that I returned with were not friends of mine. I
Not
mean,
the same that you
not,
had
not the
served
same
with.
people, not the people that you bunk with every night
Uh-huh.
and things that they in action with, and etc. Different group altogether. But
Yeah.
it's only a carry outfit to carry us back.
Now, since you were on the ground, I know that you said you're controlling operations that are up in the air and stuff. But did you see action around you? Was there fighting around you?
No, we were a little bit back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were not up in the front line.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, we were probably 10 to 15 miles in the front line.
That's still kind of close. You can still hear.
Oh yeah, we hit a barrage and what have you.
Yes.
But no, in fact, the whole time we were there, we lost one station, and the one station was overcome by German Nazis
On the ground,
on the ground.
not bombed from the.
No, not bombed.
Oh, okay.
Well, taken on the ground and killed 5 of our members. But,
Wow.
but that was the only casualties we had during the whole war.
Did you feel pretty safe while you were over there?
Oh yes, pretty much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but any day things could change. You know,
Yeah.
you're always anticipating what could happen.
Uh-huh.
Try to be on your guard, and that was the way we survived.
Yeah.
Right.
It's something foreign to me because I worry about everything all the time.
Don't talk about worry. You're speaking the wrong place about worry.
You don't?
I worry about everything.
Oh, do you? So you're not going to
Oh.
help me with that.
I worry about everything. If I have a problem that I didn't take care of something one day, I go to bed at night and I can't sleep. So, well, anything I have to do, like even thinking about this, you know, I'm glad to be here today. And of course, I was busy. So, and my apartment right now, the water's turned off, so I had to go over to the to the church and wash up. So
Clean
I
up,
come
yeah.
over.
Oh, that's me every day.
But the water will be back on this afternoon when I get back.
Oh, good. Good. I know you said you cook for yourself now. Your wife's gone, and we just talked briefly before the interview started about the food in New Orleans. How was the food in the service?
Well,
How'd they feed
if you
you?
like Spam,
Yeah?
and much Spam, SOS.
Oh, I know what that stands for.
Okay, yeah, Spam, that's the scrambled eggs.
Did you get to go into off duty? Did you get to go visit the areas around where you were at in Europe? Did you get to go see
Well,
the
after
town?
things were quieting down, I mean, the whole time we were acting going on, but we were a lot of visits. I went to Paris, and 2 different occasions. Went to Brussels, but this one we had recreation, R&R. But
How was that?
that was great. I mean, we all had one thing in mind, and we will not mention about that.
I'm sure it was pictures of the scenery.
Yeah.
Are those your pictures that you brought here?
Yes, that's a group of them, but that's not the best pictures. But most of the pictures that I had of the lost and what have you. This was me.
Oh, wow. I'm going to show you too, Valeria. Yes. Is that house in New Orleans?
Yes,
Because I see it raised up above the ground.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
the old homestead. And walking down a company street.
Is this you?
Yes,
In the snow?
yes, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Oh. It's cold up there.
This will be a game with $39, my dad's car.
You guys sure looked good in your uniforms. Did you have to press them yourself? This is all pressed and nice and neat. Did you have to do that yourself?
Well, we'll not get into that right now.
Okay.
I ran into it with one of the officers one time.
Oh,
This
no.
is this kid So he and I went to school together. This is Phillips.
You have a great smile. So you met up with him later because he didn't join when you joined, right?
No, actually, when I was drafted, he was at the recruiting station when I was drafted, and we were roommates during radio school.
Oh, okay.
And he was in a heavy bombardment squadron. He's still living, but.
You know what I think our students don't realize is how important the radio was to communication at that
That's
point.
right. Radio was the main communication.
Everything,
that
This is a good picture.
This is that's the Wild Bunch.
Because you have a little smirk there.
This guy was my commanding officer.
Oh, really?
Yep. And this is Seaford. He and I good.
Well, you guys all look the same age. Your officers were no older than you guys were, huh?
Some of them younger than we were.
Oh, my goodness.
A lot of guys right out of college.
I forget how young everybody is. Is that kind of, how does that feel? I mean, you're a young, well, you started working at a young age, but you're a young man over in Europe with, I mean, is it like an adventure?
It was a sort of an adventure.
Yeah.
And of course, my commanding officer, he was into cars. And the car you see there was a Plymouth that came out of Belgium. It was an American Plymouth that converted from gasoline to their fuel. They had a fuel boiler, used to manufacture the fuel. Used to pull a little trailer, and this would manufacture the fuel that they use in Germany and Belgium.
Really?
Yeah. But that's we played with those cars. We took that car and converted it to gasoline so we could use it.
Oh.
Little thing you're not supposed to do, you know.
I know.
And that wasn't the only one. I think we did 3 of them at different times.
My dad served in the army in Germany, not during a wartime, just and his job was in the motor pool.
Yeah,
he was a mechanic on cars.
Yeah, we
so
had
he has a few
pool
stories
also.
about things that they weren't supposed to do, but they tinkered around and.
Yeah, there's more than one way of skinning a cat.
Yes.
But that.
Wow.
That was another picture. That was taken in Belgium.
Yeah, Valeria would like to ask you a
I
question.
would like a question. How did you entertain yourself with your friends during the serving in the army?
Well, on Liberty, we had Liberty go to town, visit sites and things of that nature, try different food, different restaurants and etc. And that was our main.
What kind of food was the best for you?
Well, food was food as far as I was concerned. You had to eat, so any kind of food that we could get was acceptable.
It's a good picture.
And we're tired of sea rations and things of that nature, you know.
Anything that was kind of fresh, huh?
That's right.
A little bit fresher. Did you keep in contact with your family while you were serving?
With my family?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Letters?
Yeah. My mother and father. I had a sister. I had a couple of friends I kept in contact with. I had a girlfriend I kept in contact with. But
was the Army good about getting letters to you guys?
Big butt.
Was the Army good about getting the letters to you guys?
Oh, yes. No trouble with mail whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
Only thing mail coming from overseas was censored. You had to be careful what you wrote. Because the officers usually censored the mail. And when they censored the mail, something that wasn't right, they scratched it out.
They like marked it over, huh?
Yeah, that's correct.
How does that feel, having someone else read all your stuff?
Well, to us it didn't mean anything, you know. It had to be what had to be.
Wow.
So anyhow, but that's the way we accepted it. And we didn't know what they would take out or what they would leave, you see.
Oh.
Because once they received the letters, and they did this at night. All that mail went out that day, and they picked the mail up, and they opened it. But you didn't seal your letters. You left them open. They went through it, opened up, read everything, and if anything said anything about where we were or what have you, they inked it out.
Could you send home pictures?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
I wasn't sure if that would let your family know, like, where you were or what you were doing.
No,
or...
pictures were okay.
Okay.
That was accepted.
What was it? You seem to have just good memories. I haven't heard anything bad yet.
Well, didn't have anything bad.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
I was
good.
I feel that I was very fortunate,
Uh-huh.
and I enjoyed my tour, and here I am.
Wow.
Never thought it'd be around this long, but here I'm still kicking.
So you served in the Army, and then you came back and worked for the Navy.
Yeah, I went to work for the Navy.
Did you have to apply? Was that hard to get on, or were you kind of just moved over?
No, I just came out. I was working construction, and I said, well, I'll try the Navy because the job became open.
Uh-huh.
I made an application. I was accepted. I stayed with them.
Huh.
Yeah. But,
And did your family stay in New Orleans? Your parents and brothers, sisters?
right now?
No, back then. While
Well,
you...
yes. I had 2 sisters and my mother and father.
Okay.
And one of my sisters is still living.
Uh-huh.
My youngest sister, she lives up in San Mateo.
Oh.
My older sister, who was 3 years older than I am, she died about 12 years ago.
Mm.
But she died and was buried on her birthday.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, but it's one of those things, you know. It's,
Kind of a weird coincidence.
yeah.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, she had been ill for a while, and then she finally passed away.
Now, of your children, you said you have 4 daughters,
Mhm.
but you also said your wife served. Did any of your daughters join any branch of service?
No,
No.
no. All my daughters, I didn't get married until after I came out of service.
Right.
So anyhow, my 4 daughters, the oldest one, she was a graduate of Woodbury College in Los Angeles, fashion design major.
Oh.
She lives in Nevada.
Uh-huh.
And my second daughter is a nurse practitioner. She graduated at St. Vincent's College of Nursing in Los Angeles. She was the last class to graduate. My other daughter, third daughter, she went to Bryman School of Nursing,
Uh-huh.
and she worked in the medical field until she got tired of it. And the youngest daughter, she didn't go to college.
Hmm.
She went to high school, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's the one who lives in Paso Robles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But she took, I think, 2 semesters at Cal Poly, but
Uh-huh.
that's about it. But she graduated from Atascadero High School.
Wow. Now, since you were drafted, you were 18 when you joined?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I was older. I was more than 18.
Oh,
then.
you were older.
I was older. I was 20. I got to go back and think. I was 22, I think, when I went in.
Okay.
I wasn't a youngster.
No,
A
because
lot of
some of them were.
Oh, yeah, a lot of kids. I mean, 18, 19 years of age, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I was amongst the older group. I mean, but
Do you think that helped you at all through the training, or
no.
having some years of experience of living and
No,
no?
no, I don't think so. Because I mean, we just one happy group. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What is tomorrow? What will tomorrow bring? This is today. What's going to happen tomorrow? Are we going to be here, or we'll be there? You know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's something to think about. That's all it is. You know.
Right. Wow, it sounds like you saw a lot of very interesting, beautiful places, or at least I.
Definitely so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the 2 trips we took back there, I mean, not seeing the places that I was stationed in or what have you,
Uh-huh.
but the rest of it was ideal. And of course, we in Paris. We spent 5 days in Paris, the second trip around, and I don't know. Words cannot express it. You know, I mean, it's a different world altogether.
Yeah.
Last week, I was in Lake Tahoe, and of course, my wife's relatives have a house in Lake Tahoe.
Uh-huh.
He's a retired vice president of a large company.
Mm.
They lived in Paris for 6 years. And of course, they were relating Paris in general.
Uh-huh.
But they lived all over the world, let's put it
Uh-huh.
that way. You name it, they live there.
Uh-huh.
They have been around the world several times.
Yeah.
But it's just different ball game. But their life and my life, different like night and day. I like my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wouldn't trade it?
Well, I wouldn't trade nothing as well, because, I mean, they're up in big bucks, so to speak, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm just an ordinary person.
Hmm.
But they talk about an automobile, $150,000 for a car. That's not my cup of tea.
How do you think the service in the military, did that shape any of the way you think right now? Or do you think you were raised that way?
I think I was raised that way.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I had some very stern parents, my mother and my father, very, very stern. And of course, you had certain things to do. You did what you were told, and you didn't talk back. So that's the way I was brought up.
And so that's also what they expect of you in the military as well, right?
Oh, yes, that's correct. Yeah.
See, so I know you briefed over this story, but you mentioned something about your uniform. It sounds to me like you did what you were told all the time,
Well,
so I don't know what
I
kind
left
of...
I left from Orlando, Florida. I arrived at Bosch Air Force Base in California. And when I got up, I was picked up by a command car, taken through the gate and came in. There was two of us. And when I walked in the orderly room, the lieutenant ate me up one side and down the other. Because in Florida, I bought an unofficial uniform. I walked in unofficial uniform on, with headlets on the shoulder. You're now a member of the 1st Fighter Control Squadron, and you will dress as the 1st Fighter Control Squadron and go down to supply and get a uniform.
Oh.
Well, we did that. I mean, if you on the East Coast, if you're stationed somewhere on the East Coast, they didn't pay too much attention to that, and because many guys went to town, because uniforms were dirty on traveling on the train and things like that. You had no way of changing your uniform, so you'd stop and but you went to a uniform place and bought a uniform, and that's what you wore.
And they weren't picky about it back there.
Back then, they didn't say much about it, especially around Orlando. But when I got back here, I was a no-no.
And so you didn't do that again?
No more. No. Well, he and I never get along, but that's okay.
Oh.
Oh, well.
It's kind of different to have to live with what we said earlier, all different kinds of people, and there's no choice. You can't just move out.
You have to stay there. Nothing you can do.
Right.
Take it and like it.
Right. I think sometimes our students don't realize that, we give them so many choices today. Our young people have so many choices. I don't think they realize that in a different time we didn't have a lot of choice.
That's right. Well, even schooling was different in those days.
Yeah.
Different like night and day.
Yeah.
They didn't have any computers.
No.
Everything, your arithmetic, your reading, writing, arithmetic, and what have you, everything was done by hand.
And some skills in school too.
Oh yeah, definitely so. But I was a pretty good student.
Were you?
Oh yes. But on the honor roll. But anyhow, I did my homework at night. Did my whatever required to do. I did it.
How'd you find time to work and keep up with schoolwork?
Oh yeah, did both of them. But
Wow.
now these kids come home from school, get in the computer. Oh, texting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how different your job would have been in today's?
Different like night and day.
Yeah.
The communication line is very different.
Right.
And of course, back in those days, radar was in its infancy.
New.
It was new. So now it's everything radar control. It's a wild world out there. Let's put it that way.
And so you were also a mechanic on the radio too, not just operating.
If radio went bad, repair the radio.
And so we're talking about the old big tubes, right?
6L6s, 35Z5, 50 L4s. I can enumerate all those.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So were you guys well supplied with all that stuff? Did you have everything you needed to
Had
repair
everything
and
we
replace?
needed. Everything we needed. And while going to school, studying all this stuff, everything's available, and out in the field, in communication vans, which we had K-53 communication van, all this stuff was in the van. Repaired tubes, resistors, condensers, things of that nature that we needed. They were all there.
Now, you saw other troops as well. I mean, because we're working with the Allies over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was their stuff like our stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. But you see, the system that we were using was originally a British system.
Oh.
The British originally invented this system, and then all their equipment was very crude. The Americans refined it, and ours was very small, much smaller than theirs.
Huh.
And of course, when we went to Orlando, Florida, we found out all about this. But we were using American equipment, but we got to arrive in Florida, we were using the British equipment.
Oh.
So, I mean, there's a variation.
Right, but the basics
That's
of
right.
it was based on that British.
And then our system was set up that not really, our particular system, the system that we had, they were guys who jumped in behind the line, parachuted in behind the line with a 522 radio. 522 was a portable radio.
Wow.
Communication. We also had a number of members from our main outfit rode around in jeeps with an officer, ex-flight officer, directing planes.
That was pretty new at the time to have a portable radio, wasn't it?
That is right. But it was about that big.
Yeah, not like this. Huh?
It's not a minute radio. It was about that big. But they
dropped in with it.
They were strapped to their back and they jumped in with them. SCR 522.
Did they ever lose it on the way down?
Oh, I imagine they did.
Because we hear stories about that too. The pack's not staying on, or
Accidents always happen. You can't control accidents.
yeah.
But it's something.
That was the cutting edge technology then, huh?
Definitely so. Yeah.
You know, that's what I think that we've learned from the military too. Don't you think that we develop technology and things to use in our military? The military develops it, and then we see it come out to the civilians,
Into
huh?
public. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, many of the items were first originated, but even like talk about TV.
Yeah?
Okay, back in those days, TV was very minute, and a lot of guys in the military who were in radios, like I was, took a what they call a VPI tool, and converted it into a TV.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's the VPI tool. That was the original TVs.
Ha!
But, I'll live a little different life. I mean, I'll learn, and I'm a tinkerer.
Oh.
And anything happens, don't tell me that this will not work, because I'm going to prove somebody wrong.
I need someone like that in my life.
I don't want to appear to be bragging or anything else, but don't tell me it cannot be done.
You're going to work with it until you can figure it out,
That's
huh?
right. I may not succeed for a while, but eventually I will succeed.
Do you think that the men that you worked with in the military, officers or men, do you think that that's something that they valued? The idea that I want to make something work, or I want to fix something, or do you think that they would rather see the person that just did what they said and didn't question?
I think that would be the way they would travel.
You think so?
Yeah. Not too many people got involved in different things. Even working, I mean, a project came up, like an ammunition came in one way. We start ticking around, see, well, what is a better way to do this, you know? And minds start working. Then do it this way, try this, try that, go from there. Other people that do what they have to do, walk away from it.
Oh.
But that's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
But each person is different personalities and what have you. And
so even within the military, where we think everything's this way, you still have a wide variety of...
people in the military, just because they had to be there, and they didn't give a care what happened. All they worried about was getting 3 square meals a day, and that was it.
Yeah.
Quite a few of those.
What do you, without getting into details, what do you think about the way you guys were compensated or paid? Were you able to save money? Was it good compared to, because I'm thinking World War II is right at the end of the Great Depression, and families were struggling in America. Was serving in the war a thing that was provided good money for you or your family, or was it seen as this is a fair deal? Or
no, when I went in military, I I think I was underpaid in the military, but see, to get into the war, a buck private in the military got $29 a month. That was his pay. And then it went up to $36 a month. And when I became sergeant, I went up to $75 a month.
Did you leave as a sergeant, or did you go higher than that?
No, I was a sergeant. That was
Sergeant.
a buck sergeant, 3-stripe. But that just shows you, I mean, the period of time from 29
To 75.
up to 75, you know. And it's,
That's a good size raise
yeah,
in a short amount of time.
well, we didn't need the money. What we did with the money, we gambled. 80% of the time we gambled it all, and that was it. If we went on leave or what have you, we'd spend money going on leave.
Uh-huh.
But around the base, we'd maybe go to a movie or something like that, and the movies were free. So,
Oh.
but anyhow, we'd gamble, and that
Yeah,
that
so you're
was
saying you didn't really need the money for
That's
any of
right.
the necessities, huh?
And then, many soldiers sent a lot of money home. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
They had no use for it. But I was not one of those, though.
No.
I found other things.
You
to do.
enjoyed life.
Yeah, did too much gambling.
Are you a good one or a bad one?
Bad one.
Oh, no. Neil, you said sergeant. Did you receive any medals or awards when you left?
No,
So you're not injured.
no, not injured. European Theater, good conduct medal, European Theater of Operation, and that was it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but
That's good.
yeah.
Did you bring home any souvenirs other than your pictures?
Not really.
Because in Europe, you know, around the towns and the population, we hear a lot about people picking up trinkets or a German this or a Dutch this, or, you know, I didn't know if you...
The prize thing, everybody was looking for was a P-39 pistol.
Uh-huh.
Is what the German soldiers carried,
Oh.
and Americans were good at finding those and bringing them back to the States.
Yeah. Did you find one?
No,
No?
that was mostly the combat troops.
They'd run across them
That's right.
in the field.
We were not in a position where we would run across them.
Right.
And the only time that I actually ran across a dead German, we moved into a location that was vacated the day before, and when we went to set up our equipment, there were dead Germans lying all around.
How was that?
Nothing they did, nothing you could do.
No?
You had to set up, you know, but they came back and removed the bodies, but
Okay.
it just happened, you're saying, we happened to move in. When we moved in, they were lying on the ground.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do, you know? This is your location, you set up your equipment and operate from there.
Yeah.
But think nothing of it.
I just think some of those young men might have been disturbed by it.
Probably
Or
so.
is that part of your training to know that that's what you're going to see? Or
Not really.
no?
No. Nothing that, I don't ever recall anything being mentioned about that in basic. but you know, it's inevitable. I mean, you're gonna run across
Because you're
dead
in a
people.
war, huh?
Sure. But,
When you went out and came in, did you come out of New York? Did you go through New York? When you came home, did you go through by the Statue of Liberty into New York, or where did you?
I was back in New York on my own.
Yeah.
But I came back into Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came back into Virginia, took a train down to Camp Shelby, Mississippi.
Did they bring you back on airplanes or no ships?
No, on ships.
Ships.
Yeah. USS Mahoy City Victory was a ship that I came back on.
Uh-huh.
Came back into Virginia, got off the ship, and going over was bad.
Yeah.
Coming back wasn't bad, but going over too, everybody was seasick.
Oh.
So I mean, it's one of those things. One occasion, well, no, I won't relate that. This kind of ridiculous. But yeah.
Now your wife served in the army. You said the nurses.
She was in the States. She didn't go
Oh,
overseas.
stateside.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was up in Massachusetts, Camp McCoy, Wisconsin, and can't think of the hospital. The hospital she was located at in Framingham, Massachusetts. I know she was up there.
Okay.
But that's two places she was stationed. And after she got out in the Army, she went to school at Catholic University.
Uh-huh.
And she had Monsignor Fulton J. He was a Monsignor then. He was her instructor.
Wow.
But,
What did she do after? Did she stay into nursing?
oh yes,
Yes?
oh yes. She stayed in nursing until all the kids were out of school and what have you. So
Uh-huh.
she gave it up. And when I retired, she stopped working. I took an early retirement, as I mentioned earlier.
Uh-huh.
I was only 55 years of age when I
Right.
retired. So she retired, and we did our traveling.
How nice.
Yeah.
Did she receive her education as a nurse in the Army? Is that where she was trained as a nurse?
She attended nurse school in St. Louis.
Before joining?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, we were married 62 years.
That is a wonderful lifetime.
That is a lifetime, that's right. But anyhow, but it's one of those things.
Yeah. I hope for that. My husband and I have been married 22 years.
Yeah. So,
My father-in-law served in World War II as well, and he and his wife had a very long marriage. And I think I hear it from you too. What I get from him is that this is all just a matter of our life. We study World War II, and we think this is, it's so far in our past. When we teach our students, we think of it as a huge monumental event. And when I talk to you, and when I talk to my father-in-law, it's that I got up and I ate breakfast and I
same thing.
did my job, and
That's all you could do.
it is part of my life.
That's right.
Wow.
But, yep.
Now I think I've asked all my questions, but maybe I've forgotten something. Did you serve in any other wars? No.
No.
Right?
Only World War II, that's all.
And can you think of anything I've forgotten to ask about? Is there a story that you haven't told me yet?
No, that's about it. I did what I had to do, and that was about it. What more can you do?
I don't know. It's been so enjoyable talking to you. You just sound like you've had such a full life.
Well, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here, but anyhow.
It looks like you'll be here quite a bit longer.
No,
Tell me, what's the best dish that you cook? What's the best dish you can cook up?
Well, you name it. I'll try it. If it doesn't succeed, I'll do it again.
Because what I liked best in New Orleans was their rice.
Rice?
Yes.
Yeah, but they still use white rice, but I use brown rice
Oh,
now.
do you?
Yeah, everything I have brown rice. But you go back to gumbo, which is one of their favorite dishes. I mean, no matter where you go, you're going to find gumbo.
Uh-huh.
And of course, you get oysters on a half shell, things like that.
I wasn't brave enough to try it. I've never tried oysters.
We used to, when I was living back there, we'd get a sack of oysters and have a feast. 4 or 5 people get together, and we'd open the oysters and eat them like that.
Anything on them?
Yes.
What'd you put on it?
Sauce.
Hot sauce?
No, this hot sauce.
Yeah.
It was a sauce that they concocted,
Uh-huh.
but dip them in the sauce. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I saw a po' boy with the deep fried ones all over on it.
Yeah, po' boys. The favorite thing back there.
You guys know how to cook. Was your mom a good cook?
Oh, yeah, definitely so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And all my 2 sisters, both of them, excellent cooks.
Yeah.
My wife was a good cook also, because she's from Louisiana.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay, so where did you guys meet?
We met at a wedding after I came out of the military. We were attending a wedding. She happened to be there, and I was introduced to her.
In New Orleans?
Yes. One of her cousins was getting married. I didn't know her at the time,
Uh-huh.
but I was introduced to her, and then we sort of hit it off and went from there.
In 62 years and 4 kids.
That's right. Well, we had 3 miscarriages also,
Oh, I'm sorry.
but that's life.
You seem to just take everything in stride. Is it your faith?
Well, very much so. I've been a Catholic all my life. I'm a diet Catholic.
So you were a practicing Catholic in the military as well? You went
yeah.
over there with your faith?
Well, I mean, we attended service when they were available.
Uh-huh.
And prior to going in the battle area, we had a chaplain who used to come around and say Mass every day.
Oh.
But I stuck with my faith the whole time I was there. Anyhow, I'm a believer.
I am too.
So what are you going to do, you know?
Right.
Born and raised that way.
Mm-hmm.
Attended parochial school all my school days.
Uh-huh.
I studied under Sisters of Cabrini,
Okay.
which was an Italian order. And then I went to St. Aloysius High School, Missionary Brothers of the Sacred Heart. So that's my schooling.
Wow.
But,
That's probably why you also were a good rule follower and followed directions and did what you were told. They were tough.
do what you have to do. That's it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your life
Yeah.
with us on this interview.
That's my life.
You have a wonderful story to tell, and I appreciate you sharing it with us today.
No problem.
Thank you
Glad
so much.
Glad I had the opportunity and the time.
Yes,
Good.
me too.
I have nothing else to do.
You
Except-
have
except-
other stuff to do.
Except the project that I'm working on, and I'll go back and return to that project when I leave here.
Yeah. Well, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
It was good to meet you.
Same here. Feel good.
Okay. Valeria has the rest of your